Hello and welcome to Papel, picado drawing activity. Today's drawing activity is going to use pencil and eraser as well as paper, and we're going to use a couple of shapes today, a circle and a rhombus. And we'll be using a special line today, the scalloped line. You might remember it as like a cloud line. But the first thing we're going to do with our pencil is write our name. And then we'll put the pencil away because we're going to fold our paper. As you can see, our paper has these 4 corners, and it's a rectangle shape. I'm going to fold half of my paper over to the other half. I'm going to match up the corners, and then I'm going to hold down one side of the paper and press the fold and crease it with my other hand. Let's see it again. So I'm taking the left side of my paper, folding it over to the other side. I'm going to make my corners match up to each other. Let's look at it closely. There we go, matching up the corners so that they line up. Then I'm going to hold the paper steady, and I'm going to press down on the fold with my finger and then crease it. That means I'm going to smooth it out. There we go. That's our first fold. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to do our second fold. We're going to fold the top down to the bottom. So I'm going to put my thumbs on the sides of the paper. I'm going to fold the top down to the bottom. Again, I'm going to match up my corners. Then I'm going to press the fold with one finger and then smooth it out to the side or crease it. Let's watch that again. So here's my paper. I'm going to put my thumbs in about the middle of the sides of the paper. See where my thumbs are? Then I'm going to use my fingers to fold the top down to the bottom, and I'm going to match up my corners again. I'm going to lay the top part of the paper right on the bottom part so that the corners look the same. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to hold it steady, and I'm going to use one finger to press down the fold, and I'm going to crease it out to the side. This way and this way. There we go. That's our second fold. Now we've folded our paper enough. We're going to unfold it now, or open it back up. And now we have these nice 2 lines here. And where they meet, that's the middle of our paper. So we're going to put our circle right there in the middle of our paper. We're going to get out our pencil, and we're going to hold our circle steady while we trace around it with the pencil. If it's not perfect, that's okay. Just try your best. We want to get that circle in the middle of the paper. There we go. Now I'm going to get my next shape, the rhombus. I'm going to put that shape right over my circle, and I'm going to try to line up the top and bottom corners of my rhombus with that same line. There we go. And on the bottom. Just take your time. Don't try to rush through it. Line up your piece, hold it steady, and then trace. After that, you can try and put another rhombus in between the ones you've already traced. So I'm going to put this one right between there. It's still pointing at the circle in the middle of the paper. And I'm going to repeat that process all the way around my paper. we've got our sun or flower design. And we're going to use a scallop line to go around the border of our paper. I'm going to start in the middle here. I'm going to make half circle lines. Half circle, until I get to the corner. And I'm going to make most of a circle. If you need to use the circle shape to help you trace it, that's fine. I'm going to make this scallop line all the way around the paper. Here's a close-up of the corner. I just use my circle, I trace part of the circle, and then I keep going. Now, if you want to use the circle shape for every part of your scallop line, you can do that. It will take you longer. But if you want to have it looking just right, you can do it that way if you want. I just like to check my corners. There we go. Now I can put away my pencil and eraser and get my crayons. I'm going to pick two colors, one color darker and one color that's lighter. So I picked red and orange. Red is my darker color. And I'm going to outline my shapes. For this project, we're going to be creating negative space. That's like an empty space. So inside of my shapes is actually going to stay white or blank. I'm not going to color in the area inside of my shapes. But I am going to outline my shapes, or trace over them, with this dark crayon, the red crayon. There we go. Now I'm going to trace around the border, just like I did with my shapes. If this was authentic papel picado, we would be cutting out those spaces where the shapes are, and we'd be cutting out that border line, that scalloped border line. But since this is just a drawing activity, we're going to outline it with our darker crayon so that we remember not to fill in those areas. There we go. Once you're done with your border, you can start to fill in the area around the shapes, but not inside the shapes. There we go. Now, I know it looks fast in this video. I'm just doing that so that you don't have to watch me coloring all day. When you do yours, of course, take your time. Make it look as nice as you can. I hope you're proud of what you made, and I can't wait to see.